JJ, we got Johnson. We got Johnson at 26. We got Johnson at 26. This is great.
It is Matt, it is Richie. We are hanging out with the Jets Lounge guys. Richie, my man, how's it going?
Matt, this is sick. We're at the Jets Lounge event in Farmingdale. The main event is what it's called. We got the entire Rucker family over there.
Jets!
Well, hello, Jets fans. This is Jets Chaos. I am in the Jets Lounge, and today I am giving you the final 53. That's right. I'm giving you the roster. I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to make people hang around for it. I'm not going to torture you. I'm going to get right to business. But first, I'm going to say hello to some people, so I'm really not twisted. What's going on? It's good to see you. It's good to see Finnegan here. It's good to see Harlan here. Twisted, Finnegan. It just never ends. The names, the complexity of them. I mean, but hey, it is what it is, right? So how do you do that so loud? What is that? How are you saying that? Are you going Finnegan? Is that how you're doing that, Harlan? That's how I would do it. So I'm always giving short notice, but hey, man, it's not every day you get to find out who the 53 are before everybody else. And let's start with the quarterback room. The quarterback room is going to be very, very simple. It's going to be A-Rod and Zach Wilson. There's no way they're wasting a spot on the 53 initially on Boyer. They're going to put him on the practice squad because he will clear waivers. If he doesn't, they'll be like, oh, that was a shot in the stomach, and they'll move on and find somebody else. But they're not wasting one of the 53 on quarterback, so we can jump right to that. Running back room. They're going to keep 4 guys. They're going to keep Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Michael Carter, ignore the rumors, and of course, Israel Abawakanda. I hope I said that right. I'm sure Tigo will let me know if I didn't. So those are my 4 running backs. For the wide receiver room, they will keep 6. That's right. You heard it here. They're going to keep 6. It's going to be Garrett Wilson. It's going to be Andy Lazard, McCole Hardman, Randall Cobb, Xavier Gibson, and Brownlee. They're going to keep both of them. He's going to make the roster as well, Brownlee. They're going to keep both those guys. But I will say that there's a good chance they're going to pick somebody up, and then it'll be the end of Brownlee. Xavier Gibson is going to make the team. That's not a hope or what I'm rooting for. I'm not claiming that. I'm just letting you know that he's going to make the team. They definitely were playing him to see what they had. He definitely earned the job. They're going to want him. Probably he's going to return our punts. He looks kind of flashy. He had a couple of drops. There's things he's got to work on, but he also got a tremendous amount of receptions, good speed. When A-Rod starts complimenting you and talking about you in his press conferences, you're in good shape. So we're going to go with those 6 wide receivers. The tight end room is going to be 4, but it might not be what you think. It's going to be our 3 mainstays, right? It's going to be CJ and Conklin and Ruckert, and then it's going to be Baldwin. Well, Borden. It's going to be the fullback Borden, but they're going to use him as a fullback, but he'll be considered tight end room. So there'll be 4 right there. You could call him running back room. I don't want to argue about it. But a lot of people, when you keep a fullback, consider it like one of the tight ends because they can go off for passes. They can block from the line of scrimmage. So a lot, it's to each his own. So that's the quarterback, wide receiver, tight end room. Now we go to the offensive line where there will be 9 on the line. And this is the way it will shape out. By the way, the reason they could do 9 is because I believe that Carter Warren, he's going to go on the injured reserve list. So I'll go through this again. So he's going to go on the injured reserve list. Let's start with our starting 5. The starting 5 is going to be Dwayne Brown. Right next to him will be Laken Tomlinson, who I do want to say had a much better game than I thought. He had that one horrible play for the touchdown, but there was some confusion because it was supposed to be a running play. He was really good on every other snap. So I rewatched it. Dom C sent me a message, and he's right because I rewatched the game, and I said, wow, he's good on every other snap. I can't find another bad rep that he had. So, but going back to that, so it's Dwayne Brown, it's Laken Tomlinson, it's Connor McGovern. Obviously, it's AVT and Becton. And then the other 4 that will stay on the roster is Tipman. Now, they'll try to pass some other guys to the practice squad. Remember, Carter Warren will be put on IR or the PUP list to start the season. So it will be Tipman, Schweitzer, whatever his name is, that Schweitzer guy. That'll be our inside backups. And then you'll have Turner and Mitchell as our tackle backups. And everyone else will go. And, of course, we'll try to get Carter Warren will be IR'd. And then maybe they take guys if they don't get picked up and they clear waivers. Maybe you see some of the other guys get sent to the practice squad. Maybe, just so we have some extra depth there. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they're all garbage after that anyway. So that's 9 offensive linemen. Our special teams is pretty typical, right? We're going to have our kicker in Zerline. We're going to have our Tom Hennessy, the best long snapper. We're going to have our punter, Morstead, and we're going to have our gunner, Justin Hardy. So that'll be our 4 special teamers. And now we move on to the defense. Let me see where I'm at. I got 6, 10, 16, 25, 29 guys so far. Subtract from 53. One doesn't half of another. No, you can't take 9 from 3. So you subtract, you take from the 5. And okay. Sometimes it helps when I sing it. We got 23 guys left for the defense. And 9 of them, well, will it be 9? Let's write it out and find out. Here's the defensive line. The defensive line is going to be. Now, I can't say this for sure, but it is possible that Carl Lawson starts the season on the PUP or the IR. I'm very concerned about him. I don't know if Carl Lawson's starting the season. But for now, we're going to assume he is. We're going to say Carl Lawson. We're going to start with our edge guys. We're going to say Carl Lawson. We're going to say Jermaine Johnson. We're going to say JFM. We're going to say Will McDonald. We're going to say Bryce Huff. We're going to say Michael Clemens. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. On the inside, we're going to have Jefferson, Woods, Solly Thomas, and, of course, Q. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 guys on the defensive line. They are all making the team. I'm sorry to see T-Smart go. There just simply is not any room for him. Linebackers, there will be 4 linebackers. It will be Quincy. It will be CJ Mosley. It will be Sherwood. And rounding it off will be Zaire Barnes. Zaire Barnes will take the 4th spot. Chaz Surratt will go to the practice squad if he clears waivers. So let's see how much we have. That's 14 defenders so far. That means we only have 9 left. 9 left for the secondary. So let's get cracking. We're going to go with our cornerbacks now. We have, let's see, Sauce. I know that's a wild hot take, but I'm predicting Sauce is going to make the team. We have DJ, or no, is it CJ? No, it's DJ Reed. He's going to make the team. Those are 2 solid guys. Of course, you're going to have M. Carter II. Easily makes the squad. We know this. Our 4th guy is Eccles. Now, he's going to be suspended week 1. So, we are going to keep Hall. That's Bryce Hall. We're going to keep Bryce Hall and Moreland. Okay, what's going to happen is we're going to keep those 5 guys. What's going to happen is Moreland will then be cut if he clears waivers, go on the practice squad. Could be Hall, but I'm predicting Moreland will be the one to be cut when they bring back Eccles onto the roster. And we'll go over all these again. Don't worry for those of you who joined late. That leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would they do that? Keep them? No. They're going to go only have room for 4 safeties. It looks like the 4 safeties will be. Man, any of them could go. They all. I'm just kidding. Tony Adams, Whitehead, Trey Dean makes the team. And then there's only who's going to be the 4th guy? If they have Tony A, Whitehead, Trey Dean, it's going to either be Ashton Davis or Amos, famous Amos. But don't be shocked. It could be Amos. It could be. But I think they're going to want his experience, and they want another guy who can cover. So I'm going to say Amos stays. And this is the end of Ashton Davis. If he clears waivers, we put him on the practice squad. So we could all be, I guess, really sad about that. There's one guy, I think a veteran guy, who we can keep and salvage without risking them. There's some rule about that. I think it was Tanzel Smart. I don't think we have to expose him, but I'm not 100% sure about it. Anyway, that's my 53. There's going to be some tough cuts. We can talk about who the cuts will be after, but the opening day roster, or on Wednesday, as of Wednesday morning, the roster for the Jets, I'll say it again, will be Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson at quarterback. The running backs will be Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Michael Carter, and Izzy Akawabamba. Izzy. And then our 6 wide receivers. That's right. We're keeping 6 wide receivers. It'll be Garrett Wilson, Andy Lazard, McCall Hardman, Randall Cobb, Xavier Gibson, and Jason Brownlee. But a move might happen before that. I can't predict or control that. They might end up with a wide receiver via trade or cut. Tight ends will be the big 3: CJ, Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, and then they're gonna keep the tight ends. We're gonna keep our guy Baldwin. He's got a beautiful wife. There was girlfriend, now it's wife. California girl, check her out. I forgot the exact name. Nick Shine will tell you. Follows her every day. Goes to her page every day. He's probably looking at the page right now. Offensive linemen, 9 guys, 9 offensive linemen. Again, I'll read it out from left to right. Dwayne Brown, Lincoln Tomlinson, McGovern, AVT, Becton. The 2 inside backups, Tippmann and Schweister. The outside tackles, Turner and Mitchell's backup tackles. Couple of guys go to the practice squad if they clear waivers. Special teams, Justin Hardy. Our 2 kickers, Zerline and Morshead. And then, of course, our most valuable player, Tom Hennessy. And then we go over to the defense, to our defensive line, where we are keeping 10 defensive linemen. And that would be Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, JFM, Will McDonald, Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens, Jefferson, Woods, Solomon Thomas, and Quinnen Williams. If there's anyone that's cut and I'm wrong and they only go at 9 defensive linemen, it's going to be Solomon Thomas that gets cut. That's how they'll do that. There's a chance they're going to trade one of these defensive linemen for what you may call it, a wide receiver. That's a possibility. No one big. I'm just saying one of the inside guys. I don't know what they would do. Again, what I really think might happen is that Carl Lawson is not going to be on the opening roster because he's going to be put on the PUP or the IR. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it's a very strong possibility. If that's the case, I think they save Ashton Davis. If it's not the case, then it's goodbye Ashton Davis. Again, the 4 linebackers, Quincy Williams, CJ Mosley, Jamie Sherwood, Zaire Barnes. Our cornerbacks are going to be Sauce, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II, Hall, and Moreland. As soon as Eccles comes back after his 1-week suspension, Moreland or Hall are gone. I say it's going to be Moreland that's gone. Maybe he goes on the practice squad. I don't know. He has experience, but I'm it's a spoiler, so I can't be wrong. That's what's gonna happen. And then of course our safeties are going to be Whitehead, Tony Adams, Trey Dean, famous Amos. So that is going to be our roster. Look, this is not an argument or a debate. If Iowa doesn't like it, it's too bad, man. Take some meat, stick it on a stick, and get yourself some dinner and deal with it. Because I can't help it. It's not in my control. I'm simply relaying information. I'm telling you that that's the way the 53 is going to go. Anybody else who tells you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. All right? They don't know what they're talking about. Especially that kid Tigo. Nothing. Clueless. Has no idea. What, Nick Shine? Really? You're going to listen to him? The guy's got 9 toes. Okay? The guy's got 9 toes. Okay? He started with 10. I mean, I'm not picking on a guy with a birth defect. He started with 10 toes, now he has 9. You're going to take this guy's word for it when he tells you who the 53 are? I'm telling you who the 53 are. What, are you going to listen to O'Leary? O'Leary's too nice a guy. We can't cut him. Come on. I like him too much. He can't do it. He doesn't have it in him to think the right way because he's too nice of a guy. All right. Now we know it's not Green Bean because Green Bean's 53 has 6 tight ends on it. So we know we're not keeping 6 tight ends. So we already know that we can't listen to Green Bean at all. The guy Ian is walking around the room like this all the time, right? You're going to listen to him? Hey, guys. Oh, he came out of Arizona State. Oh, I don't know. I can't believe how good he is. I mean, that's Ian from Jeff Central, so we can't trust him. He's walking around the room banging his head too many times. He's got like CTS or whatever they call that stuff when they have too many concussions. So it can't be that. We can't listen to Richie from Jets Media. We can't listen to him. He's a kid. He doesn't know about cutting people. He feels bad. It distracts him from his 53. He gets it all wrong. I mean, everything else he knows 10 times more than anybody, but not about this. Not about this. Richie has favorites. He's a kid. You know what I mean? His friend Jack, younglings, they root for their guys, so they don't know. You can't listen to them. You got to listen to me. And then who's left? You can't listen to the expert guys, like the techie guys, because they don't know. They don't know about the emotions. Like, you can't listen to a Dom C, even though he's my guy. You can't listen to a Joe Blewett. You know what I mean? You can't listen to Buffalo because Buffalo's his brain is defrosting all the summer long from the winter. And then when his brain finally gets thawed out and he's ready to think clearly, it's winter in Buffalo again, and his brain freezes up. So you can't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know the 53, but he's adorable for trying. You are, Buffalo. You're adorable for trying. Who else is left? I don't want to forget anybody. Let me look at the icons here. That'll tell me. Well, we're not going to listen to Boy Green because he's distracted because he's looking for a story. Yippers, everybody! like look who's going to make the roster. He's looking for something that's going to tell a story. I can't blame him, but it distracts him. It distracts his mind. So you can't listen to him. He doesn't know anything. And then let's see who's left. Rich Eisen? Come on. No, he gets writers that write for him. He's a good guy. He drinks his coffee. Number one dad. I love him. But he doesn't do that kind of analysis. He doesn't know. There's Situation. There's Gunny. Right? There's Gunny. Does Gunny know? Can we trust Gunny? How can we trust Gunny? He's got Green Bay Packer fans running around the house. You know how much of that distraction that is? He sits there with his pencil or pen. He's trying to think. And then what does he hear? He hears his wife scream. The only reason we lost Davante Adams was because we didn't know if this one was staying. And then Aaron Rodgers leaves anyway. And then Derek Carr leaves and Davante Adams could have stayed in Green Bay. So he's hearing that while he's trying to think of the 53. He can't do it. Right? So what do you got? You got no one left that could give you the 53. They all got their issues. No one more than Nick. I mean, you lose a toe, you don't get to predict the final 53. I'm sorry. If you can't hold on to your toe, then you don't know the 53. Okay? I'll tell you who got cut. Every time he was thinking, who are we going to cut in that room? He's thinking toe, cut toe. He's distracted. He can't tell you anything. Mark Reese might have a good opinion. That's a guy you might know. But he's too busy calling people juggaloons. Now he goes, now do Just Central. I did Just Central. Oh, guys. So he's banging his head, the kid. He's like, they could pick up a guy on the practice squad that we've never heard of. John Breacle. Right, for the practice squad. John Breacle, some guy who played third division school, and this would be Jets media. Guys, I can't believe the talent that the Jets just brought onto our team. The dude is a great blocker. If the ball gets tipped up, he's really good at sucking it in. He uses his hands to catch. He used to be a wide receiver in elementary school. When he was 12 years old, he had a good allowance and he ate lots of ice cream. You can't listen to him. He's stuck in the little details that don't matter. They're not part of the 53. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Oh, and of course, there's Jake Asman. Now, Jake is too busy with the headphones, looking around, acting like he's in a real studio. I'm like this. It's Jake Asman. We're here. We got news. We got inside information. We got an insider telling me, but that's the problem. That's the problem. JD leaks bad information out. It gets out to people. And they trust Jake. Everyone loves Jake, right? If I knew something, I would tell Jake. The problem is the people telling him don't know. They're being misled. They're being lied to by guys like JD in the front office. They leak out things to Ian Rappaport, and then it trickles down the media chain. And Jake Asman's connected, man. He's the man. He gets that information, right? And it's wrong. He's being misled, the poor guy. So, no, he doesn't know. I know more than him because I don't get the information from there. I just look at the reality, people. The reality. You got to look at who they're using, who's getting the reps, what they're saying, what's coming out of their mouth. You got to watch Jets One Drive. You got to watch Hard Knocks, the things they say. The things they say to each other. When they show a guy like Tanzel Smart with the family, he's going to the practice squad, baby. Yeah, watch any season of Hard Knocks. I'm sorry. I love the guy, too. Practice squad. They featured you on Hard Knocks. Bye-bye. You're not making the final 53. I'm sorry. That's just common sense from watching Hard Knocks in previous seasons. I know the format of that show. The guy where they show the family and everything. See you later. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Now, the draft pick that they follow, like a guy like Izzy from Brooklyn and everything, of course, that's the guy that makes the team because they picked one that's doing really well. He had that spin touchdown. So, of course, he's making the team. Do you see how it all works, people? So, Hank wants me to do me. I'm doing me right now. I feel like YouTube granted a make-a-wish for you, giving you a channel, and you've outlived expectations. I love that he comes up with these retorts. It's great. Oh, my God. You know that my favorite vision of Nick? Riding around the supermarket in one of those carts. You know, the little things that you drive. Doing this with his body to make it go faster. But seriously, that's my 53. That's the 53. We'll come back. Hey, man, on Wednesday night, I'm here live. And you could come in. You've seen this, whether you're seeing it live or not. You want to come in and tell me how amazing I am. If you want to come and tell me, oh, my God, Chaos, how did you know? How did you know what they were going to do to that level of detail? Remember, I'm not responsible for trades or picked up cuts because I can't follow every team. So somebody might cut someone who changes it a little bit. But I'm talking about out of the players we have now, believe me, I'm right with the exception of whatever trades happen. Dano says, what an intro. Now let's begin. What are you kidding me? That was the show. I use the catches as a joust, and I challenge people in a duel at ShopRite. Oh. Remember that game, Joust? That was a great game. Joust. The video game where you fly and you have to get higher. That was and you come on top of them. It's a great game. So I do want to say, he's gone, buddy. Kuntz is gone. Practice squad if he clears waivers. He'll probably clear waivers. By the way, we as fans have this like imagination that every one of our guys, we have this imagination that one of our guys is not going to make it. I love Joe Blewett. I don't even know what Joe Blewett predicted. I love Joe Blewett. I just texted him today. He said, "What do you think of that play on that touchdown, that blocking by Laken Tomlinson?" But let me tell you something. Laken Tomlinson, I owe him a little bit of like pullback on that video I made because while it's true that it was an unacceptable blocking on that play, the way he blocked on that touchdown, he was good every other rep. So I mean, there's still hope in him because if you blow one rep and then you know what? Not only is it one rep, but they scored the touchdown on that rep. So, I mean, there's still hope that Laken was – I mean, he was really good on the other plays. There were reps where he was stonewalling guys. They weren't getting near Rodgers. He was a wall. So, I'm going to give him credit where credit's due. Pumped for the season. Jets by 21 on Monday Night Football. It's funny you should say that, Small Heath Jets Petroleum, because I have the Jets winning 31-10. So, it's interesting. Everyone has the Jets scoring 31, even that mentalist guy in Hard Knocks. I've been saying 31 forever. Nick Shine copies me. He says 31, but to be a little different, he says Buffalo will have 17 because, he's an unoriginal nothing of a man. Iowan says, come on, top of him. Name of Jeremy said, what? Up. You guys never stopped. Go drink your freaking, what kind of wine? Corn wine. Leave me alone. Jimenez. That's exactly how you pronounce it. It's Johnny Jimenez. No, not Kuntz. I just got his jersey. You got his jersey? Wow. Well, look, he might clear waivers and make the practice squad. There's hope. There's hope. Look, it's not that it's just, I just don't see how they can fit him on the roster. That's the problem. You know what? He has one chance. He does. The problem is I don't even rank him higher than Yeboah because of special teams. That's the problem. Like Yeboah's hope is that I'm wrong about the fullback. I mean, Miami just cut their fullback, so maybe it's going to be a non-football league. Yeah. Joe Blewett is very good. He is very good. 34-17. Oh, you added a field goal for the Jets now, right? After you saw the game. You saw the game and said, oh, we'll probably get an extra field goal. Big tough guy. I'll tell you something, I'll smack him around the room. The guy will be begging me not to hurt him. Is running back Michael Carter making the 53 if you had to put $100 on it? I would put $5,000 on it. Yeah, he's making the 53. I mean, I'm not literally putting $5,000 on it, but I would. I think I would. My wife would kill me, though, if I was wrong. But I'm never wrong. So Michael Carter's making the 53. Who would make it over him? Like, is it like it's between Bam Knight and Izzy? Although Michael Carter didn't have the best game. It seems to me Nick is jealous of you. Strong possibility, man. Strong possibility. You're smart. You're good. It's very observant of you. Dan Q says Johnny got Kuntz on his back. 42-30. You think we're gonna put up a 40 burger? I'll take it. I'll take a 40 burger. I'll take it, especially against Buffalo. If we put a 40 burger up against Buffalo, we are going to find a way to put up 50 against New England and get revenge for all those years. All right, ladies and germs. I'll talk to you later. All right, Iowa, you butthole. We got Johnny Jimenez back. He says, and you know this Dane A. Ha, ha, ha. I just randomly highlighted something and it doesn't make sense. Bam Knight looks better than Michael Carter, right? That's what you're saying? Or better than Izzy? Yeah, look, I prefaced this. I made my predictions, Kareem. I did not say that that's how I feel. I'm making my prediction based on what I see them doing. The fact that Michael Carter sat the third game and then last week came in with the starters, and then Bam Knight was still in near the end. I mean, it's not good. It's not good, dude. Like, I am not saying anything about talent, who deserves it, who doesn't deserve it. I'm simply telling you that Michael Carter is making the 53. He just is. Unless there's some kind of weird trade or something, I'm telling you, he's making the 53. Like, do not think that on Wednesday morning, Michael Carter is going to be waived by the Jets and not on our roster. It's just not the reality. He is our running back 3. Whether you agree with it or like it or not, whether I like it or not, nothing is going to change that. He simply is. You think I like the fact that Moreland might be on the freaking roster? That there's a chance if anyone's hurt, he's like the next guy up to be on the roster or something. Like, he's so close to being on the roster, and he will be because Eccles is suspended week 1. You think I like that? He's so bad, that player. And he's got people convinced he's good. It's weird. Tony Lessa, is Brown playing against Buffalo? Dwayne Brown? He's supposed to. I mean, the game is 15 days away. He's been practicing for 4 or 5 days now, and so that's like 20 days of practice for a veteran who's been playing in the league forever. So every expectation is Dwayne Brown is starting against Buffalo. I mean, I think Sal already announced it. So Fungus Among Us says the right thing. He says, click the like button. You're saying why? Why though? I don't. Man, it's such a hard question to answer. I think it's because Michael Carter gets the most yards after first contact. Like, he breaks tackles. He doesn't go down on first contact. I think they like him out of the backfield as a weapon. I think they really like his locker room presence a lot. He's a really big leader in the locker room. They love him. And I think Bam Knight is very one-dimensional, or he's seen as one-dimensional, like one cut and go, but not so good in anything else, really. That would be what I'm thinking. That's how I think they feel. Not saying they're right or wrong. Just saying that I just think that's the way it is. So it's just gonna, it is what it is. Have to rail chaos. We will see how close you come. You stuck your neck out there tonight. We may be laughing at this for a long time. Twisted, don't try to scam me. All right? Listen, fella. I know what I'm talking about. You ask your son. Wait a second. It's not your son. Yeah, no. That was the guy who got the ticket. Never mind. Just you trust me. Okay? You trust me. Okay? I'm right. I'm right. I have this ability. I see through things. I see. I don't come up with these crazy takes that you'll see guys take. You know? What's his name? Tigo. And that's what I think, guys. I think Moreland is going to be the starting cornerback, and Reed is going to be the number 3. Had to take a sip of my Red Bull. You know, I just, there's nothing I can tell you. I don't know. Jeremy, you're the best. Give me a couple of players we sign that get cut from other teams. Look into the crystal ball. It's so hard to do that. It's so hard to do that, man. There's a lot of teams, and it's fuzzy out there. It's fuzzy. I don't see many guys that, I mean, they're going to be veterans, and the question is going to be, do we want a veteran? Like, what's that guy? There's one right here, Shepard from the Giants, right? That's not impossible if they cut him and keep Crowder, or it's not even impossible that they go after Crowder, I guess. So that's possible. I mean, if the crystal ball tells me the person in the most danger in the that really has the gun against their head, that we bring somebody in and it costs them their roster spot is Jason Brownlee. He's hanging by a very, very thin thread. So that's who I think is in huge trouble, really bad trouble. Also, the fullback is in bad trouble, even though I have him making the roster or something. It was to change. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. I think most of the other guys I named are very safe though. So, you know, okay. So here's my guy. Here is one, New York Giants slot cornerback Darnay Holmes. Well, he could be in place of Hall and Moreland, which would be great. I mean, I have nothing against Breece Hall. I mean, Breece Hall, but I hate Moreland. I mean, I can't stand Moreland, so I'd rather have that guy. But if they did pick him up, he's a slot cornerback, and it's not like he's going to start over Michael Carter II. But anyway, let me. But there's the link for you, Dom, if you want to come in. Nobody else use it. You're not invited. You only get to come in and no, I didn't invite you, man. Get the hell out of here, you. The last thing I need is you yelling and screaming. Okay, get in here. Okay. What?
Well, you thought you were Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah, you feeling offended? Are you feeling offended?
I'm not offended. I don't have a leg to stand on. I'm at the kid's house. I'm crashing over here tonight because he's got a football game early in the morning.
Oh my God! Was he listening to everything I was saying?
No, he's actually in bed. I don't let him listen to you. That's at all. I'm a good parent.
Did you hear that, Kuka Lake? He doesn't let his son listen to me. That's crazy.
I try to shelter him from the cruelties of the world. You know, things that aren't good. Your voice, flights of stairs, things that hurt people.
What are you playing that game? The Triangle, Hollywood Triangle?
The
stairs, type 2 diabetes, needles, fire, things that hurt people.
When you got to bring your bag of medicine and it's go away for one night and you got to bring like a whole medicine cabinet with you.
Tom C might come on and give us a list of guys we can pick up. Did you hear my 53?
I didn't. We were watching Hard Knocks, and then I was in the bathroom, and I put your show on for a few minutes. It helps pass the bowels.
Nikki Nine Toes. I can imagine you sitting there on the toilet listening to what I'm saying about you, just like thinking about how badly you want to wrap your hands around my neck.
Dude, the kid got a good hat. I just took this hat from him. I might keep it.
That's fat.
I've given him a lot. I might take this.
That's a nice one. I like the black with the green. Yeah, it's good.
It's dope. How you doing, man?
Where is Carl Lawson? You know what? I honestly think Carl Lawson is going to. There's a very strong possibility he starts the season on the PUP, on the pup. Very strong possibility. I don't have any. I'm starting to really think that he's not going to be there for a while. Like I actually think there's a chance he's not going to play it down until maybe after the bye week. Like because I think something's really wrong with his back. Like I think that like Salah's not even saying, "Oh, he's doing better or improving." I think he's literally not recovering. And the thing is, even when he starts recovering, it's not like they're going to rush it when you have that kind of defensive line depth. You know?
Yeah, well, you know my take on this, right? And this is no dig at Carl Lawson. It's just compliment to the team that we've built. 2 years ago, it was devastating when Carl Lawson got hurt. Right now, you can argue that he's one of our most expendable starters with the depth that we've acquired at defensive end, right? With JJ, with Huff, with Will McDonald, with Clemens, with JFM. There's a good rotation. It's not like it's an offensive lineman that's out there for every rep of the game, right? So it's let him get good. Let him get right. Like, there's no reason to rush him now and then you lose him for 10 weeks or more. Like, get right. I'm okay with it. I don't think there's a panic there because of the bodies that we can throw at you.
Mark Reese, I hope you're joking around or being sarcastic or whatever.
No, he's legit. Why don't you attack him like you attack me, you freaking son of a bitch?
He's not getting cut because we restructured his contract. The money is guaranteed. We'll put him on IR before we cut him. There's no reason to cut him. We already paid him. Why would we cut somebody we already paid? We owe him money. If we cut him, we owe him all the money from this year and next year. That's what happens when you restructure somebody.
Carl Lawson, I said this in early June. Carl Lawson has as good of a chance of getting cut as my big toe does. Oh, wait. Ooh, we got to reassess this one.
I think Carl Lawson is as safe as McCall Hardman.
He's not going anywhere.
Right.
He's not going anywhere.
I
do want to shout out my kids. I'm in their garage. The garage at their house is like the kid den. They got the 2 pictures of them playing sports, and then there's a quote from Dwight Schrute. Like that's like their tribute wall. It's the kids and Dwight Schrute.
Check it out. I put the link in. Anybody thinks they can get in here. What's going on, Johnny?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? Hey, what up,
hey.
Nick? First time, man. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Johnny, did I make you laugh tonight?
You did, dude. That was awesome, man. But damn, man, it hurt my feelings, man. Kuntz, he's gone.
No, he's not gone yet, but I don't see how he can make the roster. I think he's going to clear waivers though and be on our practice squad.
Yeah, he looked good blocking, but these cuts coming up, it's some teams, dude, are just gonna be lucky to have the players that they have with us. And that just shows you what Joe D has done, right? That whole front office, doesn't it feel great to finally have a front office that knows what they're doing, what they're talking about, and then we're actually having some great players on there. But that defense that went on that first drive, first play was an instant penalty, dude. It was crazy. I was just like, oh wow, man, our defense is going to be special this year. And I'm talking about like record breaking. That line, if it continues to be the way they're going to be, I'm being biased, right? Of course, huge Giants Jets fan, right? But I'm a giant Jets fan. My wife's trying to correct me over here and stuff, right? But
I'm a passionate Jet fan, right? Wifey's always right. Listen to her.
Yeah, she's the truth, dude. Before we got married,
my wife, and I'm listening to her.
But yeah, it's an exciting time, man. Did you guys watch the game? What do you guys think of it?
Yeah. We it was just fun. The best word I could use is fun. Like the way Aaron Rodgers was finding Garrett Wilson so easily, like the way that it flowed, the way it looked, it's just, and I think you're right to mention the defense because I think I think it's just as fun as watching Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and the offense it's going to be really fun watching the defense, getting sacks, turnovers. It's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. But the one thing I've never felt as a Jets fan, or maybe only 2 out of the last 40 years, is what it really looks like to have a powerful offense. To really have the potential to, just put up 40 points easily.
Agreed.
So,
I mean, I think we put a 40 burger on Buffalo Monday night, man. I've been saying it like since jump that I really feel like we're gonna have a top 5 offense, dude. Once we're at all cylinders, having Cook, having Hall in that back. I mean, just the reverses that could happen, then the play action. I mean, that pass that he did. I don't know if you saw, but that was from Connor McGovern telling Rodgers, "Hey, switch to playoff and everything like that," because it was supposed to be a run to the right, and he switched it real quick, and it's just a dot to freaking Wilson, man. And I mean, it's just a great time, man. It's an important. I was talking to my father. My dad was like, I'm hyped.
That's the crazy Uncle Jeremy. That's the one that you're not allowed to talk to. I told you about him. Don't ever accept
not
candy.
allowed to talk to me. I'm
Don't take
crazy.
candy. Don't take candy from him. If he contacts you at all, please let me know immediately.
Stranger danger.
This is Sophia, the softball superstar of the world, and someone who is becoming a Jet fan again, even though she started liking Kansas City the last couple of years, right, baby?
Because you like
Hard Knocks, and she's buying back in. I'm scaring her with my imminent death to become a Jet fan while I'm still alive again. Like, she'll still wear the Jet gear stuff. I was like, please, baby, this is my dying wish.
Hey,
she wants to kick my ass in Madden.
So
she's waiting to kick my ass in Madden. While she was setting everything up, I figured let me hop on and defend myself after I got lambasted while on the toilet by Jeremy.
She knows all she's got to do is step on your toe while you're playing, right?
She does.
I don't know, man. I've fought some dudes that had some toes missing, man, and it makes them a lot faster on their feet, dude.
We're more aerodynamic, and we've already looked death in the face. Nobody in an alley is going to scare us.
Exactly.
You get the ability, man. You start fighting like a kangaroo.
Throw them tricky lefts on you guys out of nowhere.
Oh, my God.
I did say lambasted while on the toilet with Jeremy. Thank you, Dane, for catching that. And I'm sure Iowan caught it too, the big butthole he is.
So who do you think gets the most receptions after Garrett Wilson against Buffalo? Like, who's going to finish second in receptions on the team?
Against Buffalo for the season?
Against Buffalo, that game, Monday night, who's going to get the most receptions after Garrett? Oh, you're not allowed to guess Garrett Wilson. We'll just say that.
Conklin.
Conklin. Okay. I was thinking that's a possibility. How about you, Johnny?
Harbin. I think those dink and dunks, man. Yeah. You saw he tried to do it right then and there in this game with them real fast. So, dude, I was at a wedding yesterday, right? I'm on a boat. Last thing I see is Hartman gets hurt. I have no signal, no nothing. And it said, no. Jet player gets injured. Instantly, PTSD. Oh my goodness, we lost Aaron for the year or something insane.
Oh no.
I'm on the boat trying to get signal, dude, and everything, and had to wait until almost like 11:30 at night to see that it was nothing and everything was fine. But the worst, my wife's like, here, I got you a couple of shots. She just lined them up for me. She was like, take them. Then I was calm after that.
Dude, I would have stormed the captains like, Mayday, Mayday, I need a jet report. I need a jet report immediately. Mayday, Mayday.
It was horrible, man. But yeah, I think Hardman, man. I mean, what's your take?
I mean, those are both good. I do think game one, while he's getting to know everybody and everything, just to be different, I'm going to say it. I might not have someone had a gun to my head, but I'm going to say Lazard. I'm going to say he's going to utilize the guy he feels comfortable with and knows.
What did you think about that block that Cobb put on that player, man? He crushed that dude, man. I was just so hyped.
It's sad. It's sad because that was one of the things that made football great. I mean, that was to me that was a clean block. That was just a good block.
Do you remember late 90s, early 2000s preseason game? Wayne Corbett decleated Michael Strahan and like elevated him on one of those.
Mhm.
But now that they don't want those blindside hits, so and Rodgers even said it at the mic. As much as it is a penalty, he knows better than that. But it gave you a little flashback, us older guys, to old school football when men were men and you can hit.
I hear you, man. That was
Nowadays, it's I have to block you. I have to just tap you.
dude. That's my favorite Jet of all time is Wayne Corbett, man. Him. I mean, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up in Hempstead, so Hofstra was like right there, right? And being able to see them, I mean, all the time, dude, it was awesome. So, but the wife's calling. She's making dinner. Just wanted to come up, show some support over here. I don't want to get beat up. She's about to hit me with the spatula. You know, so got to get the kid ready for school tomorrow and all that. So, Nick, always a pleasure.
Be good, bro. I'll see you. We'll be on during the week this week. I'm sure you'll hop in, man. Appreciate the support as always, brother.
Mr. Chaos, Uncle June, is that you? Uncle June, is that you? Is that you?
Hey, I'm gonna put a hit on you.
Hey, man, go Jets, man. Take it easy, guys.
You good, brother. Enjoy,
yeah, bro. Thanks for calling, man. Love you, man. All right.
All right. I got to teach the little one here a lesson that you don't challenge a 44-year-old guy who grew up with Nintendo and 2 buttons and was there for the evolution to 3 buttons to Genesis to 4 buttons on Super Nintendo and to now this whole world. I've lived in this for 40 years. She's new to the game still. She don't know what she's in store for. I love her to death, but I will whoop a child's ass in Madden with no remorse. I sent you today. I beat Nikki 66-6 a couple weeks ago.
Crazy.
All right. Go Jets, everyone. Enjoy it. Hopefully we stay healthy. Everyone comes back. And I might be with you Wednesday. I'm not making this trip to Atlantic City. We did a draft at my buddy's house yesterday, and my legs swelled entirely too much not being elevated all day. I can't sit in a car for 2 hours down, be there for 3 hours, 2 hours back. It's too much.
All right.
So I'll fuck up your Wednesday and show up with you.
Damn it. All right.
All right. I love you, buddy. All kidding aside, I love you, man. We'll talk soon. Take care, everyone in the chat.
Take care, bro. Be good. Have fun with the little one.
Yeah. I'll text you tomorrow after his game.
Yep.
All right, later.
Okay. So now I'm back alone again. It's just me. Where's Dom C? That's a good question. I don't know where he is. He can't right now. He's got to put the kids to bed. Let me tell him maybe later. Maybe later. Watch this. I'll say suffocate with pillows faster. I just typed someone to that. I told them to I just told somebody to suffocate their kid with pillows so they can come in faster. I think the tight ends will collectively come in second to Garrett Wilson. Well, that's a good, interesting point. That's cheating, though, because it would be 2 of them. Hey, do you want to come in here, man? You want to come in? Let me know if you want to come in, Jets for Life. It's been a long time since you've joined the stream. So, yeah, just let me know. Man, so Johnny's got to cook dinner. I got to cook dinner tonight. I'm making meat sauce and pasta. Yeah, I'm making dinner tonight. As soon as I get off of here, I'm going to have to come down. So come downstairs and do it. My wife's probably going to start rattling some pans in the near future because she's probably going to get hungry. And I like to get things started, make it easy. I tell her, boil me water. Fill the pot and boil water. She says, okay. I'll go down 20 minutes later. I'll think at least I got, a good start. The water's boiling. All I got to do is brown the meat, get the sauce in there. And 10 minutes and I got pasta and it'll be quick. I go down there and there's never any water boiling. There's no pan out. Nothing. There's just her playing PlayStation 5, saying, I was going to do it after the race. And I said, yeah, you probably said that 10 races ago. Just wrapping up. Anyway, Yeah, what's going on? New York Jets fan 4, what's going on, man? For life. You haven't been in here for a long time. You used to come and join the stream, remember? He used to walk around. He didn't even care if he was walking around a dungeon. He would come on. I don't know. He'd pull over on the side of the street to talk. Maybe he got shy. I don't know. But I don't know. I wonder what Johnny's cooking. Probably, I don't know. I'm not going to say. Usually I say probably something better than I'm cooking. But you know what? I'm very proud of my pasta with meat sauce. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway, just in case you joined late, I'm going to go over my 53 again. So that's the name of the stream. I did it. I'll do it really fast. This is my 53. This is guaranteed. I will be more accurate. Guaranteed. I'll be more accurate than Buffalo Jet fan. I will be more accurate than Jake Asman. I will be more accurate than Matt O'Leary by a lot. I'll be more accurate than Green Bean. His misdiagnosed picks are going to be lost in his beard. And you know how I haven't mentioned? Oh, the pilot of the plane, Ryan. I will be more accurate than him as well. I'll be more accurate than Gunny. He's got too many distractions there, Gunny. I'll be more accurate than Buffalo Jet fan. I'll be more accurate than all of them, a lot of them. So here you go. Here is your top 53. It's coming right now. 2 quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson. How am I doing, Mom? Okay, running backs, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Dalvin Cook, Izzy, Abawakanda. Wide receivers, 6 wide receivers. That's right, I said it. 6 wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, McCole Hardman, Lazard, Cobb, Xavier Gibson, Brownlee. Tight end. 3 and a fullback. You guys know the deal. The 3 normal guys. I'm getting tired from saying it. CJ and Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert, and then Baldwin, the fullback. And then 9 offensive linemen, the starting 5, Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, AVT and Becton, and the other 4 backups will be Tippmann, Schweister, Turner, and Mitchell. Special teams, the normal 4, same as I guess the way we ended last year. Justin Hardy, Zerline, Morstead, and what's his face? Hardy, Hennessy. Okay, going to the defense. There'll be 10 defensive linemen on the roster, except this is where things get a little iffy, okay? Yeah, much more accurate than Richie. Come on. I mean, I love Richie, but he's a kid. Come on. I held him when he was in diapers. I mean, I didn't, but I could have. Defense, I'm going to name 10 defensive linemen, but I think there's a solid chance that Carl Lawson starts the season on the PUP list or even the injured reserve. It's not looking good for him. But I'll put him on here for now. Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, JFM, Will McDonald, Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens, Jefferson, Woods, Solomon Thomas, and Quinnen. Linebackers, Quincy, CJ, Sherwood, Zion Barnes. Serrata hopefully make the practice squad. The safeties, Tony Adams, Whitehead, Trey Dean, Famous Amos, and goodbye to our friend Ashton Davis. Although if Carl Lawson goes on the IR or DL, I think that goes to Ashton Davis. And I do, if I'm wrong about anything, Amos is going to get cut and Ashton Davis is going to stay. Cornerbacks, Sauce, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II. To start the year, Hall and Moreland will be on the roster. Week two, Eccles comes back. Hall or Moreland is going to be cut, and I think it's going to be Moreland. But it could be Hall. That could be the other iffy thing. And that's my 53. And here is a guy, I don't know why he's here now. It's not your night tonight. Oh, no, it is his night tonight. He wasn't here, and now he's here. Please welcome Vincenzo. What's up,
I
man?
made it.
You made it. I love it. I love it.
So sorry for
What's up?
the delay, guys. I thought I was gonna have the night off tonight. I had my fantasy draft, and I was just like, let me see if Jeremy's still on, and I made it home, and you're still on, brother. How's everything?
Things are good. Things are good. Giant fans so quiet. Hey, Gina, it's good to see you. That's Green Bean's aunt. The reason Green Bean is a Jets fan is because of her, and that set off a whole many of things. So thank you, Aunt Gina. All right, that's cool. Well, you cool. How's the little girl?
Who, mine?
You have your little daughter who just had the birthday.
Oh, wonderful, dude. Another year, another blessing. She made out like a bandit, but that's how it is when it comes to kids. So
Aren't they cute when they get their presents?
oh, it's just, it never ended. That's the thing. It never ended. So I got basically a toy store in my house right now. So that's a story for another time. But the big six.
She loves her. She loves her daddy. That's cool. The big six. Okay, kinder. Nice.
No. First grade.
First grade. First grade. That's right, because you're starting a new year. So yeah.
No, yeah.
Did she get to do transitional kindergarten or pre-kindergarten or something? Because she's starting like younger.
I know what you're talking about, but no, the way her birthday falls, it lines up perfectly.
Okay. So all right. Did you hear my 53 by any chance?
I just caught in at the tail end of it, but no, I was gonna chime in about the Jets game. What did you think? I was able to watch it, and it was just like great. I mean, what a way to conclude the preseason. My fear is going into the game is just like I got, these dark clouds, bad memories. You think of this Jets-Giants game, the first one that comes to mind, Mark Sanchez, behind the third string offensive line. Then before that, Chad breaking his wrist with Brandon Short tackling him from behind. Then I was like, why are we putting Rodgers behind playing in this game? He's been with this coordinator. This is his offense. But, he led the troops down the field, hits the touchdown pass in the back left corner to Garrett Wilson. I'm like, this is why you make this power move. And I was just like, enough. I was like, get him off the field. Get everybody off the field. Bring in the twos. But I'm very excited. Big congratulations to Mekhi Becton winning the right tackle job. You earned it. Now just like bring it, protect our man, keep him upright. What's going on, Hank, my main man? And let's roll, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like this is as healthy and as deep as we've been in years. And I mean, Buffalo, I got to tell you, man, I don't think they realize what's coming for them on 9/11. I really don't think they know what's coming for them.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be very special. I think that it's so hard. Like people have got to let go of this thing that we're underdogs, like in their minds, because what we're used to. You know what I mean? And I know Buffalo's tough and they're a great team, but like it's so hard for Jet fans, but it's got to happen somehow. You got to understand this team is incredibly special. We have an incredibly gifted wide receiver. He's a superstar. Like he's going to be right up there with Jefferson. He is a freaking superstar. He's about to explode. He's about to go crazy. We got a Hall of Fame quarterback who's got a chip on his shoulder. He's fired up. He's happy. He's focused. We got a running back that's special, man, and Breece Hall, a very special running back, franchise guy. I mean, this is like the 90s when you had Dallas with Irvin and Emmett and and Aikman, and this is when and they had Deion Sanders on the team at corner. I mean, this is the kind of star power that the Jets have put together now. I mean, we got on both sides of the ball, right? I mean, you got Sauce freaking Gardner, man. You got Sauce, you got Quinnen Williams, and you got a plethora of freaking edges. That it never ends, the list of edges. Jermaine Johnson is going to be a superstar. I mean, it just doesn't end. We're going to be terrorizing quarterbacks. We're going to be forcing turnovers, and we're going to be scoring on offense through running big home run running plays with Hall, big home run pass plays with Hardman, great possession 20-yard gains, 15-yard gains by Garrett Wilson all game long. Big clutch plays from Cobb and Conklin. It's just fire, man. It's fire.
How about our confidence level when our quarterback goes out onto the field and we're not holding our breath? Like, I'm sorry, the last couple of years with Zach Wilson, every time he would drop back to pass, I'd hold my breath. I'd do the sign of the cross. I'd cross my fingers. I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. It's either he's going to take a big hit or he's going to throw that lethal, ugly pick six. And I was just like, enough. You know, watching the preseason game, I just felt so comfortable with every time he dropped back to pass. Everything went fine. It was so smooth. It looked natural. You know, that's the way football is supposed to look when you have a competent quarterback. I mean, never mind finding a competent quarterback. Now we got a Hall of Fame quarterback, first ballot, down across the board here. And the thing is with Rodgers is I think we're getting that pissed off Aaron Rodgers that he's got something to prove. He's got something to prove, and the only way to do it is by winning that second chip. And what better way to do it than not only in New York City, but a team that has been starved for a championship since 1969. I mean, his legacy would be solidified instantly. There would be no need for the second year, third year. I mean, I want him here as long as possible, as long as he's able to propel, you know, his Hall of Fame career. But one championship is all it's going to take. And I think, you know, this is why he came here. Is like he wants to deliver that championship, not just to himself, but the city, the fans. And you know, he could tell he really knows that we appreciate him being here. He just said that ovation when he came out into MetLife Stadium. And granted, it was a Giants home game, but the Jets fans came out. He heard us in the stands. He absolutely did.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, he did. Wait till he comes out against Buffalo. I mean, geez, it's going to be loud. It's going to be, I mean, it's, can you imagine when they start doing the chants and the Jets, Jets, and it's going to be just thunder.
I want to be there so badly. Like I said it on another one of our streams, I went to the first preseason game when Favre dressed as a Jet. I remember it was against the Redskins. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen because every time he just completed a pass, everybody just stood up and started clapping and cheering. He hasn't even done anything yet. He's just completing passes. Like, that's how starved we are. I can only imagine Monday Night Football in MetLife Stadium when he throws his first touchdown pass that actually counts. And me, selfishly, as a Garrett Wilson fan, I hope it's the Garrett Wilson because I think it would just take the top off the stadium.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine if it's like just like a 25, 26 yards. He's coming across the end zone. And he just nails a 25-yard, 26-yard pass to Garrett Wilson.
Puts it between two defenders and just in a window that only a quarterback of his caliber could take. And then you just throw your hands up in the air as the defense, like, how did he do that? You know?
The stadium will explode, man.
And I tell people, and they laugh at me I said it at my draft with my buddies I was at earlier today. Talent like that, it can't be coached. You're born that way.
Yeah, I mean, and what's crazy is when you think that's, I mean, I can't say it enough. It's not that we have, like in the past, we'd say we have good players, solid players in the league, but now it's different. Okay, Sauce Gardner, I mean, on his way, future Hall of Famer, very, very, very possible. If we win Super Bowls, because that's what it takes when you're in certain positions, like Quinnen Williams. If we win Super Bowls and he finishes his career at this trajectory of being like a top 3 guy at defensive tackle, and he's getting 10 plus sacks a year for a few years, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame if we win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you got Garrett Wilson. I think Breece Hall potentially. AVT. Now they only get noticed if you win a Super Bowl. Okay. So, I mean, like and then of course we know Aaron Rodgers is going in. I mean, so we're naming possible guys that legitimately, without feeling like a lunatic, I don't feel like a nut job where I'm drinking the Kool-Aid to say all those guys legitimately could be Hall of Fame players someday, that they're going to they can all possibly get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, they're superstars.
I honestly don't think it's crazy to think that, you know, when the Sports Illustrators or the Athlon Sports, they revisit drafts 5 years later, I don't think it's crazy to think when they revisit that class with Sauce, Garrett, JJ. I mean, I go
And
back
Brees
to the
Hall,
early
and Brees
90s
Hall.
watching this team. I think it could be arguably the greatest class in the history of the franchise.
Well, very with Brees Hall too. I mean, it's sick. I mean, because you got Garrett Wilson and freaking Sauce. I mean, and then Jermaine Johnson is looking like he's going to have a breakout year and be a legitimate star, right? And then you get Brees Hall, who looks like he could literally be top 3 running back, maybe even number 1, like superstar running back. And then you look at even Michael Clemens is a contributor. Like Michael Clemens is a real contributor. The interception yesterday, the pressure was created by him.
Exactly.
He was the one in DeVito's face when he threw that interception. And then you look at Jeremy Ruckert, and there's a guy who, I mean, we don't know yet, but I think he's already proving to be a really good blocking tight end. But he might, he's going to get more of a chance year 3 because we're not going to keep both veteran guys ahead of him. He's going to be either tight end 1 or tight end 2, and we're going to get to see what he can do and how big he can become. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, it might be just the perfect draft class.
Exactly. Time will tell, but draft classes are really summarized with championships, and the first thing is we got to get there first. And it's one thing when you get there, but it's another thing to win it. So I mean, again, draft class absolutely amazing. Got to see how the season plays out with this draft class that we just brought it to town. But I mean, again, that one that I saw last year, I mean, the only one I could argue even close to it in my lifetime, old enough to remember, is the last class that Bill Parcells gave us in 2000 with the 4 number 1 picks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, man, and then the Zach Wilson thing kind of screws it up, but like the ABT trade up. And then, then we blew it with Pinnock, but Michael Carter II.
Mm-hmm.
And then now Jamie Sherwood, if he steps up and he's a solid player, that ends up starting to be more of a solid draft. I really can't fault JD too much for the Zach Wilson pick because, I mean, they said it at the time, the major majority of the general managers, if their team was in need of a quarterback and they had that pick, they would have taken Zach Wilson also. So there's not much you can do about it,
Can I say something about that now? And for the record, and everybody knows that, I mean, the Zach Wilson pick is always going to be a blemish on Joe Douglas's career. Okay, fine. There's no perfect GM, but he's the best GM we've had since Mike Tannenbaum. Let's call it for the way it is. But in regards to that draft class, outside of Trevor Lawrence, have anyone in that class from the quarterback position really made any true noise? Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields. I'm not seeing it. Well, I think in year 2 is when you make that jump.
I think if there is anyone other than Trevor Lawrence, it will be Justin Fields. Like he's the one that has the hope. He still has the hope to do it.
Right.
Because the jury is not completely out on Justin Fields. We know he's an NFL football player in the sense that he could like he's a player. He's on that field and he's making things happen and he's running. But if he never develops into a pocket passer, he's never going to be a great quarterback.
Well, no, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think right now it's a question mark. The thing that helped the Bears in that situation is landing the number 1 pick and then selling it and saying, we have our quarterback. We need more pieces to help him. That was the right move. But I do want to bring up one point with the whole Trey Lance thing. Why isn't more people in the media, these pundits, blasting the 49ers for the Trey Lance pick? They moved 3 number 1 draft picks to move up and get this guy. He played a total of 8 games. And he got shipped out for a 4th-round pick to the Cowboys in conference. Can you imagine if we had a disaster like that? I mean, we unloaded Sam Darnold for a 2, a 4, and a 6, but 3 number 1 picks. Nobody's saying anything against the 49ers about what a disaster that is. It's a monumental disaster. It could set them back years if Purdy doesn't, pan out. But if it was us, we would be hearing it for the next 5 years because we're the Jets.
Absolutely. An unsung hero. Who do you think could be an unsung hero? Well, Jermaine Johnson's a good name to list. But
how about Tony Adams?
We don't. Well,
how about Tony Adams? We haven't heard enough about him. They're hiding him in the preseason. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They've been singing this kid's praises from last year. LaMarcus Joyner is retired. Well, guess what, kid? Your number's being called. I can't wait to see him in live action on Monday Night Football on 9/11 to just see, what's all the fuss about this kid that went undrafted, and now he's a starting safety in the National Football League.
It'll also be fun to see Jamie and Sherwood. He might step up to be better than anybody thought. Also, let's not forget about Quincy Williams. Quincy Williams has gotten better every season. Like when we first got him, he struggled with the system. He got better by the end, made some big plays. Then he got better last year, but not perfect. He was missing some things. He makes some mistakes, but they're the kind of things that are very coachable. And as you get more and more comfortable in a system, he might step up and have a really big year and make a lot of big plays for us. And he could be an unsung hero that we don't talk about enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think last year, other than AVT, who was definitely the hero for what he did before he got hurt, I think DJ Reed doesn't get enough talk.
That's true. That was such a quiet free agent pickup. I mean, I know who DJ Reed was going into that situation, but I didn't know like he had all this ability to be our CB1. Well, now he's going to be CB2 opposite Sauce. But I mean, wow, he came in and he just played lights out from the moment we got him. I mean, that is like just a stellar combination there between him and Sauce.
Yeah. And the rest of the league does not appreciate him at all, because whenever they talk about the best cornerback duos, they never talk about the Jets. So everybody respects Sauce Gardner. They just have no respect for Reed because of his height. Yet look at the stats. Look at the passes defended. Look at the yards given up per game, the receptions given up per game. The guy's a stud. I mean, he had a better year than Xavier Howard did for the Dolphins last year, and I'll stand on that hill all day, because I want someone to explain to me how they could say that Xavier Howard had a better year than Reed. I mean, exactly. Let's look at every stat. Let's look at every statistical category. I don't know how anybody can tell me that. I don't know. Maybe Howard had more interceptions. I don't think either one had a ton, but I don't care. My cornerback interceptions are nice, but that represents a lot of other things sometimes, like pressuring the quarterback, the defensive line, like how much they pass to the secondary. Like there's a lot of things that have to happen for interceptions. What's more important to me is the lack of production of the receivers you're covering. If the receivers that you're covering are not productive, you did your job.
You got a good test coming up week 1 with Stephon Diggs. That is, of course, if he's still on the Bills come week 1.
Yeah. But it is distracting. Anytime you have a guy that's like fighting over I want to be traded, I don't want to be traded. Is there controversy? Is there not controversy? It always a lot ends up distraction. But I think we saw last year that Sauce was able to control him. I mean, he got the one big play on him. Sauce made one mistake in the beginning and didn't give up anything else the rest of the game. And really, it's our defensive line. If they pressure Allen the way they did and they contain him because they seal the edge well with guys like JFM and Jermaine Johnson, that's part of how you neutralize a guy like Diggs. Like the quarterback we're not going to let Josh Allen have a ton of time to find him. And we're going to cover him really well no matter where on the field he goes.
Exactly. It's just that the amount of pass rushers this team has, it's just like pick your poison. Our front 7 are going to be absolutely nasty come week 1. I mean, you saw it even in the Giants game once we went to second and third string. I mean, hats off to Ulbrich. He just kept sending them. Just like no matter, it's plug and play. Whoever he puts into that system, it just seems to click.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. I'm expecting the defense to be better than it was last year. Like everybody said, can we run it back?
Why not?
Like
we're returning 9 of 11 starters. Why not? Why not be better? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they finished 4th.
Yeah, I feel stronger than last year.
Yeah, I mean the two guys we're missing are Quan and LaMarcus Joyner. Joyner sucked, and Quan was, he was serviceable, but I think we could do better than Quan at that position.
Well, I think Jamie and Sherwood will be fine.
Yeah.
Right? I think Tony Adams is definitely an upgrade. without question. It's going to be a solid upgrade. And then our defensive line is upgraded because
Right.
Jermaine Johnson is much better than he was last year. Everyone can see it. It's blatant. And then Will McDonald. Adding Will McDonald to that D line, I like. Oh my god! And then I love Jefferson and Al Harris. I love the addition of those guys. I think they're better as far as stopping the run. I think they're going to be better than Rankins and Shep. Like I think that I actually think that we're going to be better off. Like with Al Woods.
I think you meant to say Al Woods on that.
Al Woods, yeah.
Al Woods.
Al Woods, and then Jefferson. I don't know his first name.
No, I don't either. But no, Woods is going to be a hell of a run stuffer. I mean, he's a big, big man that's going to be up front there, and put him right alongside Quinnen and company. It's going to be, like I said, pick your poison. Which side are you going to run to? Because they're going to wreak havoc, and I can't wait to see the name that, because Jets fans have to come up with a name for this group. You can't just call them, like I think Asman said it best on one of his shows. You can't just call them Sack Exchange 2.0. That's lazy. But we got to think of something if they're going to just start wrecking games with these quarterbacks.
Psychos.
New Sack City.
New Sack City is cool. Psychos is, to me, Psycho Exchange. But I just like Psychos. I think Zach Wilson said it best. When he came off the field and they said, well, how's the defensive line? He goes, those guys are psychos. I thought that was perfect.
And you know what? The thing that concerns me too, the only concern I have with the defense going towards the end of the year, they finished top 5 again and play lights out the way they did last year, and we go on a playoff run. You better believe Ulbricht's going to start getting head coaching interviews. And I would hate to lose that guy at this point. I really would.
Yeah, it would be a bummer. I mean, we could survive it because we have Salah, and he just has to find another guy with the same philosophy. But no, you never want to lose your coordinators when you're winning. Like if we win and we're great, you never want to lose your coordinators, right? I don't think we don't have to worry about Hackett. He's here as long as Rodgers is here.
Right.
He's not going anywhere. No one's hiring him as a head coach, and he's not going to be an offensive coordinator for anyone else.
Right.
Because why would he leave his best friend, right? So we have that locked up. We have that team of Rodgers and him locked up for 2 years. I think 3, most likely, but surely 2. So we're solid there. But you're right. We might lose our defensive coordinator. It's part of football. But remember, like, luckily, it's not like a situation where you have a head coach who's not really good and the system is all the coordinator. The system comes from Saleh. So as long as Robert Saleh is the head coach, we're going to have that defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we'll be good there. But I the thing that shocks me is like when you have like Tony Ogden, right? Odin, the defensive backs coach. He's been doing it for 19 years now. How has he never gotten a promotion?
Certain guys, I just feel they're good at doing like one thing. It's one thing when you're a positional coach or just a coordinator and you only want to oversee one side of the ball. It's a different element when you want to be the head coach and oversee the entire operation. I mean, we saw it when we had Bowles. Bowles is a hell of a defensive coordinator. As a head coach, he stinks. Hackett's another one. Hackett was arguably one of the worst head coaches in history. He's a hell of an offensive coordinator. Wade Phillips is another guy. You know what I mean? It's just some guys are just good at doing one thing. It's tough to be a head coach in this league. And the thing is, the only jobs that get made available are really bad ones because you're going to be going to a total mess that you got to fix.
No, it's true. It's true. And I think people forget, like when people were making fun of Hackett, why would they hire Hackett? But it's a different job.
Exactly.
It's like it makes no sense. It makes no sense that people complained about it. It's like it's a completely different job. He became a head coach in Denver because he was a really good offensive coordinator. He earned that job, and he convinced let's give him a job as a head coach. Didn't work out. Okay. So what does he do? He goes back to the job he's really good at. And it's not just with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He was good in Jacksonville.
Well, I think part of it too with the whole Denver thing is like once the rumor started, just trickling in Green Bay that is Rodgers on his way out? Is he contemplating retirement? Once Hackett became available that he wanted to be a head coach, everybody thought, okay, they're going to make a trade for Aaron Rodgers. Then it didn't happen. Then Green Bay got put into between a rock and a hard place, and they had to unload all that money to him. And you know what? things happen for a reason, and thank God they did. Hell, if we ended up landing the number 1 pick a couple of years ago and we get Trevor Lawrence, are we even talking about Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback right now? Things happen for a reason. So you know what? I'm happy that we've landed where we're at.
Yeah. I wouldn't change anything that got us to this moment right now, because this, and the only reason I say that is, I mean, well, it's not the only, it's a very obvious reason. I believe this is the best football team we've ever had. And I know I'm saying that without any proof in the pudding. But I can't think of a better football team in my 40 plus years than this team has ever had. Now, I loved the 1983 New York Stock Exchange Jets, but I am not going to put that team against this one. And I'm not. I think that this team is better. And I think that we're better than the Rex year's teams, because we had, I think, just the quarterback, just Aaron Rodgers over Mark Sanchez. I'm sorry.
How about the 98 team? That's the greatest team I ever saw.
It's a great team. It was a great team, but it was never sustainable. Like at the time it came together, it wasn't a young team. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a team that they were able to hold together. It fell apart very quickly. Whereas this team has a lot more sustainability.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it has the sustainability of however long Aaron Rodgers stays.
Exactly. The thing is that's the thing that works in our favor is our core is very, very young. It's very young. I mean, you needed to reach to get an Aaron Rodgers in there, but it's like I said, I mean, how much time does he? I think if you win with Aaron Rodgers, he's done. Like if he legitimately won the whole thing this year, he could ride off into the sunset. You could call the whole move a success. I'd be happy. You'd be happy. Sign me up for that.
I would be happy, but I still want him to stay for 2. Like, even if we won the Super Bowl this year, I want him to stay. I'm hoping he'll stay. I'm hoping he'll say that was great. I had the best time of my life. Let me go for 2. Let me go for 2. Let me make history. Let me go for 2. So
that would be something. Can you imagine? Yeah. We're talking about repeating.
It's crazy. Anyway, I want to bring on to the stream. We've been waiting all night for him, guys. We're going to talk about the game yesterday, how players did and everything. We're going to get some insight, and we can also ask him what he thinks about the cuts coming up. Please welcome, I don't know if you know him, Vinny, the big man, Dom C. What's up, brother?
What's up, boys? How are you? I'm good, Vin. You?
It's good time. It's good time to be a Jets fan.
Amen, man. It's a good time. It's a good time to be a football fan. This is the perfect time of the year, man. Right as the season gets started.
Are you a Marlins fan?
No. I just I happen to have a black hat. I got so many baseball caps. This is just the black one that I got.
Oh, okay, just making sure. I have a Dodgers cap, and I always get grief for that. I was like, "Are you a Dodgers fan?" Like,
no,
Yankee fan.
Yeah, I got you. So what's up, guys? Hey, Harlan, always the first to greet me, man. On any stream I'm at, on any stream I'm on, man.
I know he's the nicest guy. That's just what he does. That's who he is.
Harlan's awesome.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man. Just chiming in. Listening to you guys as I was waiting backstage. What a good time to be a Jets fan. What a good time to be, really. I mean, in reality, like a fan of the AFC East, right? I mean, it's going to be a dog fight. I mean, they're just 4 really good teams. I know everyone knocks New England, so on and so forth, but like, I don't sleep on those guys. I mean, Christ, we haven't beat them since
the Fitzpatrick year.
Oh, who knows how long? Yeah. So it's crazy how good each and every one of those teams are, including New England. I mean, you get Bill Belichick can scheme up a way to beat you 1,000 different ways. So I'll never put anything past them. I will never sleep on any Bill Belichick run team or the Patriots. And reality is, Jets fans don't like to hear it. We got nothing to say because we haven't beat them in who knows how long. Like you said, the Fitzpatrick year. So until we do, I'm going to be worried every time we're playing the Patriots.
Guys, we got a streamer that jumped on, so we're going to let him come in and ask a question. Maybe he might want to ask you a question. He's a good friend of ours, John Hepburn. So what's up, John Hepburn? You saw the link.
Yo,
I can't ignore you. I got to give you a chance to say hello.
How you doing, fellas? Glad to see you. I just wanted to address Aaron Rodgers' leadership qualities. Listening to this man, I've realized not only is he a good leader, but he's a good person. as far as inclusion. Example being Becton, putting his arm around him, embracing him, lifting him up. I mean, it's really astounding what he's done to this team as far as laying it out on the line like that. What's your opinion on that?
He's a commander.
He is a commander, right?
That's
Well,
for
listen,
sure.
what I think is very interesting is the guy that we're seeing right now is not the man who was portrayed from the fans of Green Bay and
Oh my!
anyone else who knew Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and maybe it's, I'm going to take the guy for the man, the guy that I see, and maybe this whole trade and this and what we have here in New York with him and this team and the leadership of this team, maybe that has just really changed his attitude, revigorated him. But everything that they said we were getting, I haven't seen.
Me either. I mean, the opposite, if anything.
Yeah, I don't see a selfish guy that only cares about himself. I see a guy who really cares about people. He really cares about his teammates.
I mean, from the guy that gives up the towels right to the, I mean, it really exhibits leadership quality all the way through. I mean, if that doesn't rub off on Zach, nothing will.
Well, I mean, and again, not to kind of kick Zach while he's proverbially down, but like think about what happened when he was faced with the media last year. Like, hey, did you think you hindered the team or whatnot? And he said, no, it wasn't my fault. So on and so forth.
That was a kiddie move. That was
to what we have now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Right. Exactly. Hey, well, thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. I love you guys. Looking forward to the season.
Later, Hap.
Take care, buddy.
See ya.
All right. So that was a good question. It's true. I mean, I think it's something worth mentioning. We don't talk about it enough. Like what we ended up getting in Aaron Rodgers, not just the player but the person. Like I didn't really think or about it that way when we first got him. When he first announced that he wanted to play for the Jets, I'll honestly say it. I didn't know, or I wasn't really ready for the impact he was going to make as a person in the locker room. And I think that that's increased my confidence by so much more. And it was even better than I imagined it when we got him, because I had no idea that he was going to be that big of a presence. It's like having a coach on the field. It's just outrageous.
No, his professionalism is just second to none. The way you see him, even on Hard Knocks, taking Zach under his wing and showing him how to run a play from the beginning of the snap to the windows you have to go through, the way you have to see the entire field top to bottom. I mean, little things. I mean, I think they've even mentioned, when he's, at lunch with the guys, he makes it a point to sit with a different, group of positional players every other day. Different positions, first string, second string, third string. This is a leader of men here. It's not like when Favre was here. Favre needed a star on his door. He didn't want to go out with the guys. He didn't want to change with the rest of the locker room. This is a true professional right here. And, this is the guy that, is going to drive guys to want to go to war with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And all that stuff aside, the leadership, what he does on the field, like he just makes, he makes people better. You know what I mean? He makes, I'm talking about their play on the field. He just raises the level. He raises everyone's floor right up. We're lucky to be in this position. And, listen, let's hope 8 weeks from now, we're still having the same kind of gung-ho attitude about this team and this offense and Aaron Rodgers, so on and so forth, because again, I'm not to say that I'm pessimistic of our outlook this season, but I'm been a Jets fan for a long time, and I'm not one to run to the mountaintop until we've reached that pinnacle. You know what I mean? Right. We got a long 18 weeks ahead of us. Every friggin' game is there. There's not one pushover on the schedule, and it's the NFL. Any team can beat any team. We've seen that time after time after time. Especially this. I mean, Christ, You know, I know the games are just on paper yet and they haven't been played on the field yet, but the first 6 weeks is just, you know, a firestorm of talented football teams we're going to be playing.
It's absolute, like it's going to be a rough schedule. I mean, it's like it's a big game after big game after big game. The bright side of it is, if we come out 3-3, we're fine. If we come out 4-2, I'm going to be doing cartwheels. If we come out of those 6 games 4-2, and you look at the rest of the schedule, I'm not taking anything for granted. Every team is a threat if we don't come out and we're not ready. But to me, if we can come out of that 4-2, those first 6 games, that's a team that can end up going 13-4. It really is.
Yeah. I don't even like to think about it. I mean, it's one game at a time. Right now, everything has to be focused on Buffalo, but it just doesn't get easier, right? You go from Buffalo, you got to go play in Dallas, you know, and then you come home with the Patriots, and everyone's already just, you know, I think irrationally just marking that one down as a gimme, and it's never a gimme with the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Well, until we beat them.
That's right. And then who's week 4?
Sunday Night Football, home against Kansas City.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You got that, and then we're in Denver, which is, you know, a good team, coming back from where they were last year. Always a tough place to play in Denver, and then you get Philly, you know, who probably stylistically is probably the toughest matchup for us because
I agree.
We talk about, and I don't think, you know, we need to talk about how good and how positive of an effect our defensive line and our depth has against our opponents. There's only one team that levels up to our standard, or 2 teams that level up to our standards in terms of the defensive line, and I think that's Buffalo, who we play twice, and Philadelphia. I think they both have 2 very, very, very good, solid, aggressive defenses that are going to give our offensive line, you know, all they can handle.
I think the matchup against the Eagles is the hardest of the year. I think that's our hardest game. I think they are matched up the best against us, better than Kansas City. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to beat Kansas City. I hope we do, but I think that I believe we have a better chance of beating Kansas City than we do the Eagles. And the reason I don't put Buffalo obviously is extremely tough. I mean, it's Buffalo. They're a Super Bowl contender. They're real, no matter what anybody wants to say about them. But the difference, I think, between Buffalo and the Eagles that makes me think the Eagles are significantly tougher is the Eagles' ability to run the ball. I just think, you know, they have a better running game. And, you know, what's the biggest thing that you could take away from us if you're going to beat them? If I'm a coach, how could I possibly beat the Jets? I want to be able to do it with a running game. I want to take the edges out of the game. I want to take Sauce Gardner out of the game. I want to protect the football. And then defensively, what do I want to do? I want to try to dominate their offensive line to neutralize their weapons by not giving Aaron Rodgers time. So who does that better than the Eagles? I don't see a team in the NFL that all around does that better and is like built for that more than the Eagles. Yep. To me, they're our toughest opponent.
It would also be nice to finally end that streak against the Eagles. They're the only team in the entire National Football League we have never beaten in our whole history. And yeah, I agree. With them coming off of a Super Bowl, that's going to be the absolute most difficult matchup. The positive of the situation is when you look at the schedule top to bottom, there's not a game I don't think that we're in. When you have Aaron Rodgers under center, he just gives you a puncher's chance. I'm not going to just say, well, you circle this game. Okay, that's a loss. We have no chance.
Oh, no.
We have a chance in every single game on this schedule. Absolutely do.
And that's a fair point. Absolutely. Yeah. I can't disagree with that.
100%. There's no team in the NFL that's smart, that's knowledgeable, that is circling us as an easy win like they used to.
Yeah.
There's just no way. If you know about football, I mean, you're right. There's no automatic. There's no, we have no way to win that game. We're a very solid team.
Maybe just the Dolphin fans, because they seem to be not our friend Grandizer, but the majority of them seem to be a little bit irrational. So they're probably circling us as an easy 2 wins.
every year it feels like they come into the season, why they're the best team and why they're going to win the Super Bowl, and they're so sure of it. And when they don't, it's always excuses. Like it's never because they were wrong. It's always excuse, and it's year after year. It's every single year. I mean, it literally is every year. Every year I have to hear it from them about how this is the year and they're so good and they're so good. They're going to be tough, but I really don't want to hear it from them. Like if it doesn't work out for them, I really don't want to hear the excuses.
Their Achilles heel this year is they're only going to go as far as their quarterback is going to take them. And I got nothing against Tua. I think he's a hell of an athlete. I loved him at Alabama. I don't see him lasting 17 games with all the injury concerns, the concussions. The roster is nice, not top to bottom. I think they have a hell of a duo with their cornerbacks. But I don't see the kid going 17 games and then plus playoffs. I just don't see it happening.
Well,
he's one tackle away.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I'm speaking about the AFC East in particular. The team that wins, whoever's offensive line sticks together and produces the best is going to win the AFC East. We have just as good of a chance as the Dolphins, as the Bills, and as the Patriots because we're all maybe the Patriots top to bottom might have the best offensive line out of all four of those teams, but they each of them have their Achilles heel. We know what we're dealing with right now with, we still haven't seen our left tackle play a snap yet this preseason, although I'm not necessarily worried. We're hoping on the rebound from Lakin. Makai's, played great, but he still hasn't played, meaningful football in 2 years. So there's questions. It's not the front five that I'm just gonna say set it and forget it, and I have no worries. There are legitimate worries. Buffalo has the same thing. Their right tackle Spencer Brown is a big question mark, right? They're battling some injuries on the interior, although they did, Cyrus Torrance looks like he could be the real deal for them at right tackle, might have fixed one hole. And then the Dolphins, Teron Armstead, left tackle, got hurt. He's not playing. And Liam Eichenberg at left guard for the Dolphins has been awful. They're starting Austin Jackson at right tackle, who's, questionable at best. So each team has its own questions. And I think the team whose offensive line holds up the best is going to win that division.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, you don't have to convince me about the trenches and offensive line. I mean, I don't care about what weapons you have. It means nothing without the offensive line. And the same thing what Vinny was saying. If Tua gets hurt, it's it neutralizes Waddle and Hill a lot unless you have a good backup. And what did they do? They went out and spent all this money, $8 million, on Mike White, and he had horrible camps for us too. So I wouldn't completely write him out, but like in Miami, they want Skylar Thompson to be number 2. That's how much they hate Mike White.
Yeah, but Skylar Thompson has just been awful in this preseason.
Yeah. So I mean, what are they going to do? That they didn't prepare themselves well. If you have a guy like Tua, why would your main backup for $8 million be a guy who also can't stay healthy? And Mike White, I mean, go out and spend the money, and I don't know. They should have gotten the guy who started for Cleveland last year. Get somebody real at least that has like real starting experience, but they didn't do that. And they could have got Baker. Took less money than Mike White. They could have had Baker Mayfield. I mean, anyway, I won't get into that so much. The Miami Dolphins were the New York Jets, but my point is, I think other than what you're saying with the offensive line, what's really big is in this division when it's so close and there's so much talent is who stays healthy. That's linked directly to the offensive line. Our offensive line, if Becton was to stay healthy the whole year, if AVT and Becton are there the whole year healthy, Dwayne Brown, his whole career, played hurt last year. He's a very available guy. We got the depth at center. I mean, so for me, it's really about Lakin. Now, I was hard on Lakin in my video. Obviously, I trashed the hell out of him because of that one play. But like you said, Dom, I rewatched the game too. He was very good on every other rep. He was very good. Like his pass blocking, was fine. Other than that one play, he was a rock solid blocker. And that play, now I heard that touchdown play there was confusion because it was supposed to be a run play. So he may have gotten off balance because of that, right? So there's a possibility that had something to do with it.
Yeah, well, he definitely fired out in that on that touchdown play. You could tell just like just by his stance and his first movements. I mean, he fired out to block. He didn't kind of set and set his feet and anchor as if he would if he was expecting a pass rush. I mean, he definitely was off. I don't know if it was Aaron Rodgers changed the play at the line, which very well could have been, but there was definitely some sort of confusion there between Lake and Thompson. Maybe he just had to play wrong, So
what's nice about that is it's completely fixable.
Yeah.
Totally
Correct.
coachable and fixable. It's not about ability. And I really looked at the other reps. There were reps where he had his guy, even after Aaron Rodgers threw the ball, they were still standing at the line of scrimmage. And he had him completely blocked. Like, it was beautiful, beautiful blocking. I mean, really put up a wall. He looked good in those other reps. If those other reps are anything like he's going to be, we're going to be really good.
Yeah.
That's who he's going to be, because those other reps were really solid. And we know what we're going to get with Dwayne Brown, and it's good. And we know with AVT and Becton, we might get something very special. So we could end up having the worst offensive line with injuries or things going wrong, or we can end up having the best offensive line in the division.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One of the two. It's so the sways are so high and low. It's crazy, man. But let's just hope that we stay healthy. That's first and foremost. Because without health, no team has a chance.
Destroy seasons.
Yeah.
We've seen it too many times.
Excuse me.
What are you thinking up there, Vin?
No, I'm just trying to think, if God forbid, because guys are going to get hurt. It's just the nature of the business with the type of, sport that we're playing here. And just like, if something were to happen, Becton, Brown, do you trust a guy like Max Mitchell? If I'm not mistaken, Carter Warren's on the PUP list to start the season. I mean, just like, where are you going to get your depth from? If, is Tittman available? Can he play, a different position outside of center or guard if his number is called? I mean, where do you look? And also, too, is just like, are they going to entertain bringing in a guy like Jason Peters, who they keep floating his name being linked to us, but I don't know how I feel with that guy. I mean, he's had a hell of a career, but at the end of the day, he's 41 years old. And I said this to a friend of mine. It's like, do you want a 41-year-old to be backing up a 38-year-old all the while we're trying to protect the 39-year-old? It just doesn't sound Super Bowl caliber to me.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Jets are interested in Jason Peters, more so than Jason Peters is interested in extending his career for another year. I mean, the guy's been on 4 teams in the past 3 years. Moved in, had to go from tackle to guard because, Father Time is just catching up. So
I think that you're more likely to see when you talk about Tittman and coming in, like, he can only play guard or center. But I think when you get to that point, like, what you can't forget as part of our depth chart, whether it's, I don't know if it comes before using Turner or Mitchell, but part of our depth chart is moving AVT out and putting Tittman and, having both Tittman and Connor in there, or Schweitzer, like doing that. So, and moving AVT out. That is part of our depth. So I don't know. I'm not saying that they wouldn't go to Turner first or Mitchell first. I'm just saying it is part of our depth. It is an option. They did it before. It's still an option that could be used again. Hopefully, knock on wood, it never has to happen. But it's not that AVT can't come out and play right tackle or go over and play left tackle. Like, that's also, well, if Dwayne Brown went down, you'd move Becton over and AVT out to that side, or Turner, Mitchell, but the point is, we do have some versatility of shifting guys because AVT is the freaking Joe Klecko of the offensive line.
He's such a hell of an athlete. What he did last year for this squad is nothing short of, lack of a better way to say, it was heroic. It was absolutely heroic. And I don't want to see this team with so many different, combinations on the line. I don't want to have to see AVT have to play 2-3 positions in a 17-game season. It's just, like I said, it's camaraderie is huge. If we, the starting 5 can last as long as possible, it should carry us into January, and God willing, hopefully February.
That's right.
Now, Mess, you can't predict injuries. There was no way to predict he was going to tear his Achilles. I mean, and there's no way to predict his back was going to go. So
Is
We
there any
don't-
information on his back of like, is he available week 1, or we just don't know?
I'm guessing.
Yeah, go ahead after you.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I'm guessing no. But you can-
Yeah,
Wow.
as quiet as they've been around about it, I'm going to assume, or I'm going to guess the same thing. He probably had some sort of, little surgery or
Spasms?
something to. No, I don't think it's spasms. If it was spasms, he would have been in there now. I mean, there's been no sighting of him in practice or games or anything. My guess is that he had some sort of surgery. So, who knows right now? Who knows if he's going to be in there or not?
I think this is his last year with this team. I know he took a little bit less to stay with the squad, but I just, with drafting Will McDonald, I don't see him here after this year.
This is the year they could have got away from him pretty easily. Like, they could have cut him going into this year and saved $15.5 million and only eaten, I think, $600,000 in dead cap space.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check on it before I speak. But if I'm
Remember,
not mistaken,
when they brought him to this team, his bread and butter wasn't getting sacks. It was getting quarterback hits, hurries. He wasn't so much big on getting the sack, which that helps. It contributes, but he never had big sack numbers.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You're right, and I also think, and this is my opinion personally, I think the quarterback sack is overrated. Pressures, are really what cause chaos and confusion, and pressure burst pipes, right? So give me a guy that's going to get 5, 6, 7 pressures a game with only maybe 1 sack over a guy that's going to get 3 sacks and 3 pressures. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, just because he's not finishing the deal doesn't mean that he's not doing his job. He does his job very well. But in regards to his contract, yeah, I mean, as of right now, there's a good chance that he's going to be on this roster next year. They did restructure him. It would be a $6.3 million cap hit to be free of him next year. Now,
Wow.
they could make that a post June 1st cut and take that $6.3 million and break it up over the next few years, so that bring it down to about 1.575 over 3 years and save $4.7 million.
But that's what, dead money at that point?
Yeah, that's dead money.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst, but it's you say that about a few guys and it starts to add up. That's the problem.
Right.
With Isdek or whatever, right? It started to add up to the point where you end up with 15 million in dead money.
I mean, look how many years it took for Joe Douglas to clean up Mike McCagnon's mess. I think we were leading the league at one point in dead money.
Oh yeah,
all those terrible contracts that man handed out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And what does our dead money look like now? Does it say here? Let's see. 23. Right now we have $9.2 million in dead money.
Wow.
So we're paying Braxton Berrios $3.2 million. We're paying Jacob Martin $2.3 million. Paying Elijah Moore $1.9 million. Corey Davis $666,000. Denzel Mims $400,000. LaMichael Piron, Deontay Spencer, Jason Pinnock, Cedric Abuye, and Hamza Nasruddin are all getting paid right now. So we have $9.2 million in dead money right now, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I'm trying to see where that falls in terms of the league. So, we are right near the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh lowest dead money in 2023. Just for reference, Tampa Bay Buccaneers have $75 million in dead cap space on their books this year.
Oh my
Jeez.
God.
Brady?
Brady's a big part of that, and the Rams have $74 million.
Oof.
Packers have $57 million. That's the Aaron Rodgers money that they have. Because if you trade a guy, you still have to account for his his number, his salary, his bonus and stuff like that was paid out. So, when it gets to a point, teams just say screw it and take their lumps. That's why the Buccaneers and the Rams they're kind of doing their little retooling, rebuilding thing going on now. The Panthers have 51 million. The Eagles have 55 million.
Yeah, but you know what? The Buccaneers and the Rams, they won chips. I don't think they care.
True.
Well,
You're absolutely right.
The Eagles have 55 million and that roster, they're amazing.
But they're so young. Howie Roseman should have a book written about him on how to build a roster. Howie Roseman has 6 right now. He has 6 tentative picks, extra picks next year, just from guys that were signed and whatnot, off of his roster. Why am I drawing a blank here? What are they called? That's
compensatory.
Compensatory picks. He has 6 picks, 2/3, 2/4, and 2/6 on top of his normal 8 picks. So he's
in the last couple of years too. They changed the rules now. Now you could package those picks and wheel them and deal them.
Correct. So for 2023, the Jets are in good shape in regards to dead cap space. The Bengals are the best. They only have $593,000 worth of dead cap space.
Wow.
And they're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl.
So next year, as of right now, like where it stands right now, the Jets aren't carrying any dead money next year, so they are completely free. So we will have the opportunity to maybe designate a Carl Lawson as a post June 1st cut and move on like that. But
it all depends. If he comes back, let's say he is hurt, he misses the first few weeks, and he comes back, and let's say he's awesome and he's fantastic and he plays great.
I'm not suggesting that we do it. You're right. You're absolutely right. But as of right now, I don't know. I don't know if we can depend on Carl Lawson for anything. He's in that same boat, unfortunately, as Mekhi Becton. Is a guy that when he's healthy, I'm going to root like hell for him. When he's healthy, he's out there, he produces. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So
yeah.
So something I wanted to touch base on, gentlemen, that wasn't brought up, or maybe you talked about earlier in the show, Jeremy, before I popped in, was the surprise retirement from Corey Davis. Can you see JD making one more power move at the trade deadline to just increase some more depth in the wide receiver room? And the 2 big names that come to mind are obviously Davante Adams and Mike Evans. If either one of their respective teams, season just goes straight to hell by week 5 or week 6, what would you guys say? You see it happening?
They got 19, 20, almost $20 million. So anything is possible, right? We have the 5th most cap space right now. I'm assuming you're going to want to carry some of that over to next year as much as possible. To next year, because Aaron Rodgers' contract is going to kick in. You have a bunch of other stuff, but 19 million isn't going to take you all that far. So I think you're going to have another. My guess is you're going to have probably about $10 million to play with this year that you want to keep, to do exactly like you said, make another move here or there, or as the season goes on at the trade deadline, and then probably carry the rest of it over into next year. So you have. So right now you only have, I think, 19 million next year. You carry another 10 over. That's 29 million. That's before you make any cuts and anything like that. So the Jets are going to be in good shape cap wise. It's hard to say, man. You people are saying you want to add a wide receiver. People are saying you might need another cornerback. People are saying you might, you still need some offensive line depth. But the question I pose to that stuff is, who are you gonna go get? Don't tell me Davante Adams. I'm not on that train. Mike Evans ain't coming. I don't think we can afford either of those contracts as constituted right now anyway. So, it's nice to have the money. It's nice to have the flexibility to do that stuff. But who are you going to get? Who's going to move the needle that much that you're willing to invest in it? I don't know. Because then again, you trade for somebody, you're going to have to lose somebody.
Right. Well, no, but I mean, as far as like wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6 goes, do you feel comfortable rolling into week 1 with a Brownlee, a Charles, or one of these other guys that are undrafted?
Um, I mean, am I comfortable? Yeah, I'm comfortable because I don't think, wide receiver 5 or 6, if there's even 6 on the roster, are really going to really affect the game all that much outside of maybe special teams. So, I think your 4 are locked in for the start. Even if you were to go make a trade today, just say you made a trade for somebody who's wide receiver, whatever, 3, and he's going to be wide receiver 3 on our team. You can't imagine in 2 weeks they're going to be up to speed and ready to rock against Buffalo. So I think I think you roll with what you have right now, and see who gets cut loose. Again, there's I think 1,200 players are going to be cut loose before Tuesday, and they've already started. I've already. I've been scouring who's been released and whatnot. I mean, the names are, no one special.
I kind of think that Xavier is kind of growing on me. He's looking like, if you get over the little drop kind of thing, a little bit of the dropsies, but it feels like all of our receivers have to get over their dropsies. But he seems like he could develop, because I think what everyone's forgetting, everyone's judging him like he's already hit a ceiling. Like, this is who Xavier Gibson is, and this is the best he can be. And they're forgetting, wait a second, he has, how much experience does he have? This is just a young kid with he hasn't, he's just starting out. We have no idea how much potential this kid could have. And he's already showing he's an interesting weapon. He's showing.
He's electric with the ball in his hands. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, like, that's the kind of guy of all the Jets, potential like bubble guys who are on the bubble. I think Xavier Gibson is the most likely one that if he is cut, he will be claimed by another team, because he does affect the game. He can affect the game right here, right now in special teams. He's electric, like I kind of already said. And that's the guy that you stash on your 53-man roster. You let him play special teams. He gets a couple, 4 or 5 receiver sets. He gets on the field that way, and you build and you develop. Remember, we have Mecole Hardman signed only for this year, right? After that, where's the speed on this? Where the true speed? I mean, we know what Garrett Wilson is. Garrett Wilson's an alpha. And when I talk about our wide receivers, I don't even talk about Garrett Wilson, because he's him. He's the guy. But the rest of the wide receiver core, where's the speed? If Mecole Hardman's gone, I think Xavier Gibson is primed to make this roster. And even if he doesn't see a lot of snaps on the offense, he'll do what he can on, he'll do what he does on special teams, and then he's in a good position at 22 years old to really develop into a good slot receiver in the NFL. Does he have to work on his concentration? He's got to have better concentration. The hands and stuff like that. That's stuff that can work itself out. And he's not the only. Gibson's couple drops. He's not the only one on this wide receiver in that wide receiver room that has had drops problems this whole preseason.
Right.
The Jets have clearly sacrificed certain things to put guys that are explosive athletes on the field. And their whole wide receiver from top to bottom, outside of Garrett Wilson, has drop issues. Allen Lazard's hands are not great. They never have been. Mecole Hardman, that's his biggest knock, is that, contested catch, he's not going to come down with it, right? You got the Xavier Gibson, Jason Brownlee, who knows if, who knows what becomes of him. I think, I personally think that he's, he's that one, darling that everyone loved during the preseason that probably we're going to forget about in another, couple weeks. That's my guess, but he's dropped the ball himself too. Tight ends, Conklin had a 2% drop rate his whole career. Came here last year, dropped 8 balls. CJ Uzoma, same thing. They're drafting. They're taking the chance on putting explosive players on the field at risk of those little things. Now, maybe they're hoping that Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball will kind of help that. And maybe it will, but who knows? Who knows, man?
I think Aaron Rodgers could definitely start as a quarterback coach. Like I don't agree that any player should go directly to be a head coach. I think that there's lots to learn. And don't get me wrong, he's like a coach on the field. I think he instantly would be an excellent quarterback coach, part of the offensive coaching room. I think that would all be great, and I think he would climb the ladder. The real question is that what Aaron Rodgers wants to do?
Not a snowball shot in hell that
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers wants to be a coach. Aaron Rodgers is going to, go climb away in the mountains in Tennessee or out in the in the valley and kind of disappear and
Go back to hosting Jeopardy.
microdose and ashwaka or whatever the hell he is. He's not gonna he's not meant for that grind.
He's gonna host Jeopardy a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of backup quarterbacks in the league that end up getting into coaches. The Kellen Moores, the Frank Reichs of the world.
Yeah. I mean, but a guy like him, he's already made it to the top of the mountain, and it's like, especially if he wins a Super Bowl for us, he's done it all. Why does he need to live it as a coach? Why does he need to work 80-hour weeks? You're right, Tom. I think he's the guy who wants to have a next phase of his life. I think he wants to go out there and enjoy the world and have fun and do all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Can't see him in the broadcast booth?
No. Me personally, no. I just don't think I don't think he's all into it. I think that this is, what he's supposed to do for this phase of his career, and then he's going to go kind of disappear and do his whole, do Aaron Rodgers, man. So
it's funny. It's so true. He's gonna go do him. But I mean, we just have to this is only the beginning. We have to enjoy this time we have with him. And the good thing is, I think, is we go into this knowing not to take it for granted. We know how hard it is to have a quarterback. We know how old he is. We know it's not going to last forever. We know we have to enjoy this now. Like 3 years would be amazing. It'd be one more than I initially thought we were going to get. To me, it was always going to be 2 years. If we get 3 effective years where he keeps us a contender, that's great. And we have to not worry about what happens after him. We just have to enjoy the 3 years and go out and root for our team and just, wow, we get that ring.
Yeah.
We got to get that ring, man. I can't go
just
through another cycle.
Just one. I don't need a dynasty. I just want one. See what it feels like. That's all. Go to that parade on Broadway.
And then you'll worry about future ones. But for right now, we're just asking for one.
One. That's all.
Because I can't imagine going through these next few years not getting one in this round. With this cycle of players, with Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Jermaine Johnson and AVT. Like I can't imagine not getting a ring out of this.
No.
And having to go back to the drawing board. I don't know how I could emotionally handle that.
No, not only that. I mean, if we can't win it all with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, who are we going to win it all with? Like, granted, he's not going to play forever, but I'm not looking forward to that draft when we have to go back to the well and take a chance on one of these kids come out of college. I'm just not looking forward to it.
Well, I personally think if Joe Douglas is still in charge of this regime, that it's very unlikely that you'll see us, drafting that rookie quarterback, to start. I think if this goes as well as we all think it's going to, I could see the Jets being one of those teams where they go get the vet, they go get the grizzled veteran to come in and lead the team and have the youth around them, because there's two ways to build a team, right? You can build a team and pay at premium positions if you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, or you have a quarterback that's getting paid and you have other guys that are producing at a high level on their rookie deals, so we've looks like we've stepped in the good pile of crap with guys like Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson and all those, and Quinnen Williams, even though he's getting paid now, but all those young guys, who are working off their rookie deals, at some point they're going to have to get paid, right? So, if the trajectory stays the same, I think it's safe to assume that Sauce Gardner is going to be one of the top 5 paid cornerbacks when his contract's due. Garrett Wilson's going to be one of the top 10 paid wide receivers. Jermaine Johnson, maybe not top 5, top 10. He might not get 20 some odd million, but these guys are not going to be getting the 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million that they're getting right now. So
Right.
you're going to have to balance it, and you have to juggle it out somewhere. You can do what the Saints do and just kick keep kicking the can down the road, keep signing guys and restructuring them and just pushing all that stuff down for a further time. But at some point, you got to pay the piper, right? And all that money comes due. And that's what, like, you're looking at Tampa Bay. You're looking at the Rams, $76 million in dead cap space. They're paying the piper, Now, they both got titles for it. So, would you guys be willing to say, all right, 3 years from now, we're going to have a crappy ass team. We're going to have $100 million in dead cap space, and we're going to be playing really, really bad players on cheap contracts. Would you be willing to commit to that if it means you got a ring for it? I would.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll worry about rebuilding after. Yeah. Just give me the ring. I gotta have the ring.
Let me see them win. Sign me up for 0-17 for the next 3 years. Let me win. I don't care.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the top teams now, right? You look at the Chiefs, you look at the Bills, you look at the Bengals, you look at the Eagles. Those are all teams that are perennially very good and have a chance every single year, and they've done it while their quarterbacks are on their rookie deals, right? They built the team around their quarterbacks on cheap deals. Now, all those quarterbacks are getting paid. So to maintain it is another story. The Chiefs seem to have been able to do it, and maybe that's just because Patrick Mahomes is just an alien,
Well, he also got a very team-friendly deal. I mean, granted, it's like $500 million, but the way they structured it, it's very team-friendly year to year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I don't know if that's him or I can look it up. Let's see. I know that Deshaun Watson. I know Deshaun Watson has one of those where the team has the option. Like his cap number is ridiculous, Deshaun Watson, because it's fully guaranteed. It's like $55 million, $60 million a year, but the team has the option to make that into a signing bonus, turn it into a signing bonus. So his salary is only $1 million a year. That's how they're gonna do that with him. So I'm looking at Patrick.
When you got to pay that quarterback, it could decimate you in the end. Like what made New England so strong for those 20 years when they had that run is Brady always would take less every year just to bring in more marquee talent into that market. And just he knew he was going to get it on the back end for his, commercials, endorsements, whatever else he did on the side. And that helped that team propel, to long-term success. Nobody does that anymore. Yeah. That's why when, Rodgers went ahead and gave the $35 million, it just showed me that the guy wants to win. He saw Brady do it for so long. It's just like, it only took him 18 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
But don't they have to recognize the money sometime? Like even if they say $1 million.
Well, I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes' contract right now. Okay. So he has, in essence, let's see, what year is this? 23. So this year, his cap number is $39 million, right? So he's getting paid less than Daniel Jones. How crazy is that?
Sounds so friendly.
So it's $39 million. Then it goes to 46. Then it goes to 48. All right. And then in 2026, when he's 31 years old, they can get out of that contract. They can get out of it. They'll take a $4 million dead cap hit, and they'll save $39.5 million. The year after that, Actually, I really should say it's really 2027 when his age 32 year is technically the last year of his contract, and he'll count for $62 million against the cap. If they cut him, they'll have a $2 million dead cap hit, and they'll save $60 million. But we talked about paying the piper down the road. They have 4 void years on his contract. So for 4 years, they're going to be paying $44 million.
Oh my God.
Oh,
But think of how much the cap keeps going up and up and up. $44 million is going to be nothing. It's going to be a drop in the bucket. Quarterbacks in the next 10 years, 5 years from now, might be getting $75 million. So if you're paying, if you have a $44 million cap hit, it's probably going to be like a drop in the bucket. Right?
yeah. The way they redid the TV deals, the way the NFL is structured, it's a machine. It's going to go up and up and up.
Yeah.
The revenue is going to keep coming in. So
Crazy. That's absolutely wild, man. How much money it is. Like these guys. Can you imagine $70 million a year? Holy mackerel.
I'm curious to see. Who's next? Burrow? Is he the next one? Did he get paid yet? I don't think he got paid yet. Did he?
Burrow did. Justin Herbert did, right?
Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Did, that's right. Yeah, Burrow's next.
They paid him early. Justin Herbert got paid early, right? Isn't it 3 years in the league that he has?
You have to have 3 years in the league. You can get an extension in your 4th year.
Right. That's early though. Like that they could have waited longer. Maybe they believe cheaper now than waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They followed the kind of the same pattern that they did with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Burrow's under contract through 2024, right? So he's eligible for his extension this year. He's only getting $11 million this year. That's his cap number. Next year it bumps up to $29 million. That's because they took his 5th year option. That's a 5th year option. And then if they wanted to franchise him a year after that, they could do that as well. But they're going to sign him long term and just massage that number out. They're financially they're in really, really good shape. Cincinnati. They have a lot of cap space, not a lot of dead money. They have I think they're 3rd or 4th in the league next year in cap space. They're in good shape, Cincinnati.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy to see how far they've come. Because I remember that, what was it, the first year, the second year with Zach Taylor, everybody in Cincinnati was ready to run him out of town before Joe Burrow got drafted. And no one had faith in that man at all. And then to get to the Super Bowl with one of the worst offensive lines I'd ever seen assembled, they almost won that game.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely wild.
Excuse me.
We just got to win it. I don't know how we're going to do it because even if we get to the Super Bowl, if we find a way to get there, it's going to probably be the Eagles.
Listen, one game at a time. We're going to get there on the back of our top 3, possibly number 1 defense in the league. The arm of Aaron Rodgers and a relatively healthy 2023. That's how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
That's the plan, man. That's the game plan. Stay healthy. Aaron Rodgers isn't Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to force dumb mistakes.
Right.
So you establish the run, you play good defense, and you don't turn the ball over and you stay healthy. You have a good chance of winning a lot of football games.
It's pretty exciting.
We're almost there, guys. We are almost there.
Anyway, well, I think that'll about wrap it up. We will be back on Wednesday. Nick Shine thought he wasn't going to be around, but it turns out he will be. So we'll have our normal show on Wednesday.
Nice.
The Pride and Chaos show. And it'll be obviously to talk about the cuts, talk about the team. And it's obviously, it'll be something because by the time I get on Wednesday night after the Tuesday cuts, everybody will talk their ears off about it a million times. But that me and Nick arguing with each other and fighting with each other, there's always going to be some interesting takes and an interesting spin on how it all works out. So Make sure you're there for that. We have someone, I don't see him a lot here, so I want to acknowledge him because I haven't. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you. So thanks for that. And guys, anything you want to share? You got anything coming up that you want to let people know about? Hey, what's up, K Yeti?
You can catch me on Monday nights. I do a show, a panel with Dylan Terraman from Jets Nation and the Buffalo Jets Fan on Buffalo Jets Fan, 7 p.m. Tomorrow we're going to compare and contrast our best and most likely 53-man rosters and talk from there. So every Monday night we'll be there, usually after the games, unless we're obviously on a Monday night game. So that's what I got coming up. I have a lot of good stuff going on with Green Bean. Podcast is in the works, so stay tuned for that. And that's it, man. All
right, sounds good. Jigga Man Porter, what's going on, brother? How you doing? I saw you in there before, man. It's getting harder and harder to say hello to everybody. It makes me feel bad, but I try. I try to get everybody in there. Vinny, anything you got coming on?
No, I was just gonna say to Twisted there. I don't know why Calabrese survived, the end of last season, the way things ended with, the catastrophe we had in our quarterback room. So the why he's here, listen, Aaron Rodgers is commanding that quarterback room. Don't have to worry. Calabrese is not gonna have much of a say. So I'm not worried about him ruining our season. As far as the Jet Lounge goes, Jeremy, thank you for still welcoming me in, and apologize to the whole chat for me coming in late. Had my fantasy draft tonight. Hopefully that went well. It's a high stakes league. As far as upcoming shows, I've been in touch with some other content creators that I don't want to leak anything. I have to discuss that with my partner over here. So we got more exciting guests. Dom, thank you again for chiming in. It's always a pleasure having you here with us.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the offer.
And I actually might be dropping some more videos on the old Vinny and the Jets channel, but it's the way you see my display name, Vinny C/Jet Lounge.
All right, sounds good. I'll be back on Wednesday. Look for my videos. I'm going to keep them pumping out. I'll definitely have one tomorrow and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll have the show. Everybody enjoy. I'm sure there'll be plenty of great Jets coverage. I have to give Matt O'Leary not really a prank. I have to come up with a fake voice and leave a question for his show. So always watch the Matt O'Leary episodes for his podcast shows. Pay attention to the callers because one of them is usually me. Just listen for like a really weird voice, someone really strange. It usually sounds like a very pushy Jewish grandmother. That's how you know. That's how you know it's me. That's how you know it's me. So,
wait, that was you?
I was Billy Bilstein. Billy Bilstein on Matt O'Leary's show last week. It was hysterical. And maybe I'll share a little bit more of it next week when we're back. But take care, everybody, and I will leave you with this.
We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media, Matt O'Leary, Iowa Jets fan, we're in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live, CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Woo.
Jets by 1 million today.
Yeah.